Jordan and Morocco are actually looking a lot better than any of the countries that went into full-fledged revolution. Although Tunisia was looking good until their opposition leader got killed. So if they're able to get over that, then I think they'll be okay. We'll see about Iraq, because I know in the beginning, wasn't the president trying to get the prime minister arrested and stuff? Yeah, like that's not a good way to start things off. I think that's
going to be a little clusterfuck for a while. I think eventually, once they... Because really, a lot of areas there are living in basically medieval times, really, with some technology and some stuff.
But that's not the countries that you're thinking of countries like Mali and Morocco.
No, I mean, there are places in a lot of countries. There are places in probably most countries. There are places, really rural places where, I mean, everyone's got access to technology. But as far as really being really immersed in the information age, I mean, that's the information age, and the internet, Twitter, Facebook, and just even being able to transfer information like that is what triggered the Arab Spring. And I think until that really spreads and soaks in, unless there be, I mean,
when you say, I say places like Iran, Egypt, they're highly developed societies. They have, major metropolitan centers.
Yeah.
So, and I will say, once you move from a rural agricultural style society and move to a more urbanized setting, it sparks liberalism.
But even then, it still takes a while to set in if you still have rural areas. I mean, look at the U.S. I mean, go 50 miles west.
Man, what are you talking about? 50 miles? What? Like 10 miles that way?
Yeah.
In my closing remarks, something we do know is that when people become better educated and when they have more wealth, eventually they demand democracy. There's a GDP per capita level that we have never seen a country go past without becoming a democracy, and a true democracy, not one of these claimed to be democracies like Russia. So
where is a true democracy? That's a...
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
Let's not get into that now.
Yeah, let's not get into that, Scott. Come on.
True plutocracy.
Give me some slack.
Plutocracy. We got some of those.
I wonder if China has reached that limit yet. They're probably pretty close.
GDP per capita.
They're either like 1/3 or 1/2 of the way there.
Yeah, per capita, I don't know. They might have a little.
Yeah, that's the thing. Per capita, they're not there yet. But Russia's beginning to bump up against the level, though. They're getting there. But here's my point. If you look at what the Arab Spring, because I disagree with everybody else here, if you look at what the Arab Spring lacks in each individual country, it lacks two things. First of all, they've not been able to, in virtually any of these countries that other than Tunisia, any of these other countries that had revolution, they were not able to come up with something that guaranteed people's rights regardless of who they were, whether you want to discriminate against them. In the United States, we were able to do that, except for black people and Native Americans and women. But for everybody else, we were able to ensure, and non-landowners when it came to voting. So, but the point is that okay. So the point is that we were able to have some
only
kind
the
of
people
start.
that matter, right?
Well, so here's the thing. Our founding fathers, not all of them, because some of them were kind of crazy, but our founding fathers like Alexander Hamilton pointed out that liberty cannot exist without order. And what you have going on in the Middle East with these revolutions is that they don't have liberty yet, because they don't have order, they don't have peace, things are still in chaos. So maybe the chaos will die down. I hope it will. But seeing it through a realistic lens, I don't see that. I think
it's got to happen eventually.
I think it'll happen eventually, but I don't think it'll happen
I don't see it
in the next couple of years. And the countries which have been able to keep order, such as Jordan and Morocco, that they've kept order, but they're transitioning, much like Britain did over 100 years ago, transitioning towards a kind of republic, a kind of democracy. Those are probably the places that are going to be the most successful, the most fast, the ones that are going slow but steady.
My closing remarks, I would just like to say that freedom is the natural condition of all human beings, and in the end, all occupation, all segregation and discrimination and all other forms of injustice will cease to exist, because the human spirit is designed by the Creator to be free, and any attempts to bring one down, one will always be forced to push themselves back up. And that's all I have to say.
And I don't think we've mentioned Bahrain. It's where we have a Navy fleet, and it's where the United States has ships so that we can pursue our national strategic interests to keep oil flowing through the Persian Gulf. However, the government there has done some horrendous things to the opposition. Justice has not been done, and I just wanted to shout out to the human rights of Bahrain and all the people that are being oppressed there right now.
I second that.
Third.
All right, Jason, you got any last things to say about the Arab Spring?
Yeah, about the Arab Spring, my last comments would probably be that I think
I want to just preface with thanks for coming on the air, Jason. Thanks for being our guest.
No problem. You guys were amazing.
You played great in '88 NBA Finals.
I just wanted to say that the one thing that the Arab Spring was missing is free transfer of information. You'll notice that in every country where it started, there was free transfer of information until the government, for whatever reason, shut off the internet, shut off power, and shut off the ability for people to freely talk to each other. And in fact, in some cases like Egypt, it's going backwards with the free elections of the Muslim Brotherhood candidate. You notice a lot of closing of free information. And the most recent and important thing would be the Internet Summit that happened 3 months ago, where the Arab countries, almost as a consensus, were looking for ways to control free information, just like Russia is doing. I think that was last week, and China has been doing forever with Skynet. But if that happens, then I think that the Arab Spring will become possible. And if that cannot happen, then I think that the Arab Spring moving to true democracy is a long way away.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But I think ultimately it would be unstoppable. I mean, even in China and Russia, people are smart and they find a way. Life finds a way.
Jurassic Park.
It's Jurassic Park. Most prolific movie of all time. All right, this has been Plutocracy Now, talking about Israel, Middle East, the happiest places on earth.
Signing out.
Bye.
Mazel tov.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh yeah, sure.
Then find a faction looking for foreign investment. Install them in power and murder any objections. You can't stop a revolution from breathing, so to beat them, they offer people the illusion of freedom. But when you're done